Hello and welcome back to the Untitled Actors podcast. My name is Ryan.
And my name is Toby.
And before we get started today, I just really need to... I messed up on the last podcast.
Yeah, you messed up.
Yeah.
Fuck you, Ryan.
So we talked about an idea that we had nabbed from another podcast, but we didn't say the name of the podcast. So the idea that we nabbed was from Sofa Cinema Club by Colson Smith, Ben Price, and Jack P. Shepherd. And the premise that we stole from them is one of them hasn't seen any movies, so every single episode they watch a movie and then they discuss it on the next one. And we're doing that with Hamilton and I Don't Feel at Home in This World Anymore this episode. So definitely go and check them out because they've been doing the idea for longer. There we go.
Okay, that's our arse is covered.
Yeah, that's the admin out of the way.
So how's your week been, Ryan?
The week has been all right. It's been all right. I've been trying to get back into sort of healthy eating and getting into a more, productive daily routine. How's your week been going?
Well, I went back to work, and I'm working more hours in my life that I've ever done in a week, and it's exhausting, and I hate the job. But that's life. You gotta make rent. Yeah,
I mean, it is what it is. I mean, you're earning. I'm still on the dole. So we're just we're trying to get by. So this is just one of the many ways that we can amuse ourselves by trying to get by. So one of the first things I wanted to talk to you about was I challenged you to watch Hamilton, and you have assured me that you've seen it.
Yeah. Okay, so I went into this, and I told you a little bit about this last time. When something is so hyped and so loved, I tend to avoid it because if I hate it, I'm going to be a social pariah.
Yeah.
Oh, no. I got 20 minutes into Hamilton, and I was like, oh, I don't think I'm enjoying this.
Oh, dude.
But that changed. I got on board, and I really, really enjoyed it.
Okay.
It was... The music was all brilliant. I got what you were saying about Lin-Manuel Miranda being the weakest singer.
Yes,
but he puts so much emotion into every line. My favorite character was probably Thomas Jefferson, just because he was this wacky.
I love
all over the place character. It was great fun.
Yeah,
and
played by David Diggs as well, who also plays Lafayette in the first half.
And Jonathan Groff as George was fantastic as well.
Oh, he's brilliant.
Spitting and spluttering everywhere. Really, really good fun.
Yeah. I still don't know if that was a character choice. I think it's a mixture of both a character choice and just the fact that he's enunciating so much.
Well, George was mad. George III was insane. So I think it was a character choice.
The first time that we get introduced to King George, by the way, is that "You'll Be Back" song.
Yeah, brilliant.
I love the song itself is brilliant. It's written very well. It's performed fantastically. But I love the little transition between that song ending, him exiting the stage, and then it just being very somber immediately after. Because you're like, oh, he's going to send a battalion. He's going to kill like your friends and family. And then he just does. And that's just...
Yeah.
Yeah. And it's the total gear shift. It's brilliant.
I didn't realize how sad a life Alexander Hamilton had.
Yeah, very, very sad life, very, very, yeah.
So he had a shit upbringing, then his son died, then he died.
Yeah.
Pretty messed up. And he was a bit of a shagger as well.
He was a healthy shagger. I mean,
So he brought a lot of the misery on himself.
He did. He definitely, because, Angelica was infatuated with Hamilton from the start, and she had her reasons, but she let Eliza marry him. But Hamilton was aware of how much Angelica loved him, and he encouraged it. Like, he was kind of pitting them against each other at certain points, and it was like, dude, this is kind of weird. You're pitting two sisters against each other.
Yeah, I guess he just enjoyed the affectations of women a bit too much.
Yeah. So Angelica was played by, I've got it right down here. Where is it? Yes, Renee Elise Goldberg, and Eliza was played by Philippa Sue. And they're both very, very powerful singers. They've got some of my favorite songs.
Oh, yeah.
In the entire show.
The guy who played Burr as well.
Yes, Leslie Odom Jr.
His voice is amazing.
He's got a great command of his range in particular. his song "Wait for It" is probably my favorite song in the play.
Really, really good.
Absolutely phenomenal. I just think there's not really a weak performer in the entire play. Do you know what I mean?
No, I would agree with you. It's a really solid cast, and I just want to point out as well, watching theatre and musical theatre on screen is nothing like seeing it for real.
No, it isn't. Being in the auditorium as it's playing is 100 times better. But for some reason, it kind of works through the screen with this production.
Fantastic camera work.
Oh yeah,
more than anything.
The directing on the like cinematography is really, really good.
Yeah.
No, absolutely fantastic, and I'm really, really glad that you watched it and enjoyed it.
Oh yeah, I mean, I was terrified that I wouldn't.
So was I. I was like, you're Mr. Musical, and if you don't like Hamilton, I don't know what's going on.
I've got like George III's song stuck in my head.
Which one?
La da da dee da. That's brilliant.
I've actually downloaded the album playlist on Spotify.
Yeah, and
it's not ripped from from Broadway. They recorded it separately, so some of the nuances and some of the ways the lyrics are delivered are a little bit different. But it's still really, really good.
Yeah.
My one complaint, and I understand why Disney did this, but they censored out the word "fuck" a couple of times, and the one where it's loses the most impact is Southern motherfucking Democratic Republicans.
Yeah.
It just cuts out a little bit and you don't get the oomph with it. Do you know what I mean?
Are there any Disney products that have the word fuck in them?
I don't know. I really don't know.
Technically yes. You have the X-Men movies because they're now owned by Disney.
Yeah.
And are they on Disney Plus yet?
There are X-Men movies on Disney Plus, yeah.
I want to go on and see if they've censored fuck in those films as well.
They might have had to, because it's specifically designed, it's marketed for kids.
Which of the original Mickey Mouse Clubhouse gang do you think swears the most?
Goofy. It's got to be Goofy.
What about Donald?
Nah, he strikes me as somebody that talks a big game, but like he was also probably hit every time he swore as a child, so you'll be scared.
Oh, you
of
reckon?
it. Yeah.
Is that why his voice is like that?
Yeah.
Too much soap.
I mean, if you look at it, Daisy's a duck as well, and she sounds fine.
Do you think Daisy pegs him?
This is a very weird.
I'm just spitballing here, man.
I don't. I think it's a bit early in the podcast to be talking about Disney characters pegging each other, but
well, I don't even remember how we got onto this.
No, so you liked Hamilton.
Is that what we were talking about?
We were talking about Hamilton, and then we were talking about Disney censoring swear words. Yeah.
Goofy. You think Goofy says fuck?
I think it's Goofy. Surely it's Goofy.
Or what if Pluto says fuck? He swears all the time, but it's like barks.
Right. I need to say this. This is not my idea. I've ripped this from, I think it's Tomska, but it resonates with me, this theory, right? So Goofy and Pluto are both dogs.
Oh, yeah. I know what you're going with this.
So is Pluto a gimp? Is it like a sex thing?
Yeah.
Or is he just their mentally handicapped friend that they treat like an animal?
I think I always go with the gimp theory.
Yeah.
He's just a kinky.
Because then it's consensual, because otherwise it's just very cruel, isn't it?
Yeah, I can't imagine Mickey putting his mentally challenged friend on a leash.
Yeah.
I mean...
Well, I have a theory about Mickey. I think he's like the Al Capone of Disney.
You reckon?
Yeah. He's absolutely one of the dons that you don't cross.
Oh, so like he's like... Maybe he is what... He damaged Donald's vocal cords.
For speaking out of turn.
Ripped out his teeth from his bill. Imagine if ducks had teeth.
Well, geese do have teeth.
No, like human teeth. Like a horse.
Oh. No, horse don't have human teeth.
Yes, they do. We talked about this last time.
They've got molar-like teeth. They're not human teeth. They're horse teeth.
They've got... royal family.
Actually, there's a point.
They've got horse teeth.
So animal teeth are not the same as human teeth. George Washington, going back to Hamilton.
Oh, this is good.
You know his dentures?
They were wooden.
They weren't.
Were they?
They were made of sheep's teeth.
What?
Yeah, so he had like an iron denture with sheep teeth in it. And it was very uncomfortable, apparently.
Jesus Christ.
Yeah.
That's like some steampunk.
That is, like...
Shit.
Surely it'd just be better to not have teeth.
And they wanted him as their president with his minging jaw.
Well, yeah. Well, I think he only lasted one term. Going by what Hamilton, like he
died.
Was succeeded by John Adams, and John Adams didn't do very well, apparently.
No. Okay, so what can we take away from this? Hamilton, good.
Very
Pluto,
good.
kinky. Mickey, Al Capone, George Washington, sore gums.
Sore gums, yeah.
Okay.
So my challenge was to watch a film called I Don't Feel at Home in This World Anymore. I did watch the film.
Mm-hmm.
It was not what I expected at all.
Right?
It was really not what I expected. Because the first sort of 10, 15 minutes, you're like, oh, this is going to be like... So the first 15 minutes, it's just a display of how crap society is.
Oh, yeah.
Like, just people in general are so bad, and they just make everything worse. But then it just instantly gets better and more hopeful, and I'm like, oh, this is just going to be a feel-good film. And then it's absolutely not a feel-good film.
Nope.
Like...
Until do you get what I meant, though? Like, at the very, very end. It's like, everything's awful. No, it's not! Hooray!
Yes, yeah, I like, we're obviously we're going to talk about spoilers in it, but that fake out with Elijah Wood at the end.
Oh, yeah, horrible.
Where he's standing with the sun behind him in the clouds. And
Yeah.
He's just at a barbecue.
It's just grilling. Right, so basically in the final climactic confrontation, because they all end up getting wrapped up in this like low-level crime ring.
Yeah.
And the woman who literally just wanted to get her silverware back ends up being forced into doing a robbery with the people that stole her silverware.
Yeah, that was Ruth, played by Melanie Linsky.
Yes. Elijah Wood goes to rescue her, gets stabbed a bunch of times, and the movie leads you to believe that after this woman has found someone in the world that she actually loves and cares about, you're led to believe that he has succumbed to these stab wounds, and it's a long time before it's revealed that he's actually okay and he made it and he survived.
Yeah,
she has him and everything. The world isn't so shit.
Yeah,
but I think I would have enjoyed the movie far less if he had died.
Oh, absolutely. I would have left the movie feeling unsatisfied.
Yeah,
and I would have felt betrayed as a viewer.
Yeah,
because they've been leading us to this conclusion that these two, they've had their like ups and downs, and they've formed like a really good friendship really quickly, and then it's just going to be ripped away. But it's not. It's not ripped away. He's alive. He walks with a cane now.
Eliva Wood. Eliva dude.
I would say it's actually quite. Although most of the cast is quite unknown, it's quite strong performances from everybody.
Oh yeah, totally.
The guy who plays, just a little tidbit. You know how Jon Favreau puts himself in his movies?
Yeah.
So this director was guilty of that as well. He's in the movie.
Is he?
Yeah. So the director was Macon Blair. I think I'm saying that name
Mason
right.
Blair.
It's spelled with a C.
It's probably still Mason.
Okay. Macon Blair, whatever his name is. He's actually in the first 10 minutes of the movie. Do you know the scene where she's in the bar and she's reading, and the guy comes up to her
and ruins the
book? Yeah, that was him. That was him.
A little bitch.
I know. Dick.
What an arsehole.
So the guy that plays Marshall, David Yao, who is like the old man leading the two younger. He was very good.
He is just a vile character.
Horrible man.
Horrid.
But like it's made very obvious the second time that we see him that he's not nearly as powerful as he seems. Because the first time we see him, he's sat around a campfire in the woods after this girl is like with him, and then the guy who goes out and steals everything.
It's just two crackheads and their crackhead leader.
Pretty much, yeah. and then they go and buy a bunch of really old
aftermarket guns.
Yeah.
And he gets his ass handed to him.
Yeah, because he was being rude.
Yeah.
To the guy he was buying the guns from, and he just gets absolutely leveled.
Those three characters are very sympathetic characters, though, I think, because they're just a symptom of a larger problem in America with drugs and opioids and all that.
Yeah, absolutely.
Their whole situation reeks of desperateness. Is that a word?
Desperation.
Desperation, that's the one.
Yeah. Well, yes, it does. But the first time we're introduced to the son, Christian Jr., he's shitting in the wrong part of the toilet. He's sitting in the back of the toilet.
So that's one of the crackheads.
Yeah.
And he's the one that stole her silverware. And we're first introduced to him. He's robbing another house, but he showed up at this party pretending to be a guest, and he's just shitting in the cistern of a toilet.
Yeah. That's our introduction to this character.
And then he caves a guy's skull in.
Yeah, because he gets caught at the end.
Yeah.
And then it brutally caves this boy's skull in, and then runs away. And that's it.
But he gets his comeuppance.
Oh, he does. Oh, he gets such comeuppance. That his death was amazing.
Yo, yeah, it's so funny.
It's so good. I was like when he gets. So he comes back to Ruth's house, and Ruth has made like a plaster mold of a footprint in her back garden that matches his shoe because it's got duct tape wrapped around it. So he ends up he finds out that she knows. He comes to her house and tries to surprise her. She picks this up and whacks him in the throat with it and just collapses his windpipe. He stumbles out into the street and gets ran over by a bus. It's amazing.
So fucking funny. And then that's how she gets kidnapped and forced into robbing Christian's house. Yeah. Christian's dad's house.
Oh, Elijah Wood's character is brilliant, though.
Wonderful.
Tony is such a
just ultimate evangelical Christian, but just utter nutcase as well.
Yeah, he's well into heavy metal. He's got the Kabbalah bracelets and
shuriken blades and nunchucks, but he's also ultra orthodox Christian.
Yeah. Oh, I really, really did enjoy the movie. I understand why you recommended it.
Yeah, it's just a nice little nugget of a film.
Yeah. So, I kind of wanted to talk to you very briefly, just before, because I know that you've got other movies that you want to talk about.
Yeah.
I just want to kind of get your opinion on some of the biggest missed opportunities with movies in the past. So, the first one that I wanted to speak to you about, you have seen it. You've seen Hancock, the Will Smith superhero movie.
Yes.
Can we just very quickly agree, that movie, for the first 2/3 of it, is really good. And then they overcomplicate it with a twist, and then it ruins the last act of it.
I've not seen Hancock in many years, but I always enjoyed it when I was younger. When did that come out? 2009?
2009, 2008, something like that.
I liked it. I've always liked it.
Yeah, it was. I like it as a movie. I just think the last act ruins it.
So the last act is, it turns out he's an alien.
Yeah.
And his soulmate,
Charlize
Theron is an alien, and if they get too close to each other, they lose their powers.
Yeah. And that's the movie. And it turns out that throughout they've been on the planet for 2,000 odd years, and there used to be more of them, but they all died out because they lost their powers when they got together. And every time, throughout centuries, every time they meet up, he ends up getting really, really badly injured, and then she always loses his memory, ends up getting attracted to her again all over the world, and it just really overcomplicates it. I don't need to know his origin story. They could have ended the movie after he saved that bank job with the hostages, do you know?
Yeah. Just Will Smith kicking ass, and then it all gets a bit weird.
Yeah. Eddie Marsan's in that as the villain. Yeah.
Eddie Marsan is a bad guy. He's so fucking funny.
It is.
Because you just think of him in The World's End, and I'm like,
totally,
he can't be a bad
totally
guy.
Opposite. He's not a character actor. But
no.
He's got such broad range when it comes to acting. Does he play yes, he does. In Deadpool 2, he's also the owner of the orphanage.
That's right.
Yeah,
he is.
He's a bad guy in that as well.
About that. But he's always, if he is a villain, it's a weak status.
Mm-hmm. He is, yeah. So I just briefly wanted to talk to you about Hancock, but I've got a couple of other ones.
Right. What other films you got for me?
So the one that we talked about briefly, last one, was Pirates of the Caribbean: World's End.
Yeah.
Because that like, we can agree. I think I know how to fix it, by the way, but we can agree that movie is far too long and too convoluted.
Yeah, it's just too long. I remember when I was a kid watching that, I used to get fucking bored. Too long.
I think I actually went to see it in the cinema when it came out.
Oh, yeah?
And from what I remember, there was an interval.
That's right.
There was an interval in the cinema because it was like you got to an hour 45 in and you were like, I really just want to piss
my pants because it's nearly 3 hours long.
Yeah, and like the cinemas must have been aware of that because we're like, we'll give them a break.
It's mad
because it is a family movie, so they want to make sure that families don't complain that their kids couldn't sit still for 3 hours.
I wanna preface this as well before we get more into it. Bill Nye as Davy Jones was incredible.
Oh, he was
amazing. Really the best villain. Like I love Barbossa. He's brilliant, but he's not really a villain. Let's be real. He becomes a goodie, and it's great.
Yeah.
But for me, Davy Jones is the best villain in the Pirates of the Caribbean franchise. Like he's just amazing.
He is very, very good. So I think I know how to fix that movie.
Go on.
So you remember the whole story with Tia Dalma, who turns out to be Calypso? Yeah.
I release you from your human bonds.
Honestly, you take that storyline out, you save yourself a good half-hour runtime.
Yeah, what was the purpose of the whole Calypso thing? Just to open the big whirlpool?
Yeah, that was it. It was just to have a big whirlpool at the end. I don't think the final fight between the Dutchman and the Pearl needs that in the end.
No.
I don't think it needed that. It could have just been a regular firefight because we've seen firefights throughout the other movies and they've always been gripping. You're never bored with like a cannon versus cannon ship battle. So why do you need the pouring rain and the whirlpool? And it didn't serve any purpose.
It's all a bit over the top.
Yeah.
God, there is a bit in At World's End that I just love, and it's when Cutler Beckett's ship gets blown up and he's just walking down the steps.
Oh, that's good.
It's all blown up behind him. That's some of the finest cinematography I have ever seen.
I don't know how much of it was practical effects.
It's incredible, though. It looks so good.
It looks really, really good.
And his reaction. He's a brilliant actor. Sorry, I've forgotten his name.
Very snivelling.
He's in a lot of stuff. He's in The Night Manager and The Thick of It. Very, very good.
Mm-hmm. He is a fantastic actor.
That's annoying. I'm going to have to look it up.
Very pompous, very just knows he's
tiny
in control.
As well.
Yeah, he's quite a short man.
He's like 5'2" or something. Like he's really small.
Well, he was the same height as Keira Knightley at one point in Dead Man's Chest, but I don't know if she will have been wearing heels, I imagine, or he will have had to wear heels or something. But no, he's very, very good at playing that pompous, like very much in control, sniveling leader. It's a brilliant role that he plays.
Of course, Tom Hollander.
Tom Hollander.
Tom Hollandaise.
Tom Hollander.
Tom
Not
Hollander.
Tom Holland.
Not Tom Holland.
No,
Tom Hollander. Yeah, brilliant actor.
Very, very good. So yeah, that's how I would fix it. I just take the entire Calypso thing out because you've still got you've still got Sao Fang in Singapore. You've still got the Brethren Corps.
Oh God, yeah, doesn't he get really rapey at one point?
Yes,
he
does.
Keira Knightley
because he thinks that she's the goddess Calypso.
Oh God, I forgot the whole
Yeah, he ends up dead though, very, very quickly after that scene.
Oh yeah, it's fucking grim though.
Yeah.
No, I don't like that.
But yeah, there's one of the more daring bits of Disney, to be fair.
Yeah. Well, no, the most daring bit of Disney is in oh dear God, I've forgotten the name. Right, you vamp. I need to do this aside, but keep talking about At World's End.
I've thought about it, and I do think if you take the Calypso storyline out of At World's End, it like the rest of the movie is still coherent enough that you've cut the rundown time. You've cut the runtime down, and you've essentially just taking out one of the lesser storylines that isn't really a factor in the movie anyway. Apart from like the romance thing with Davy Jones, but that doesn't matter.
Yeah.
We're already scared enough of Davy Jones. We don't need to know more about him. I think it takes away some of his mystique if you explain how he became, like just make it so that it was an unknown lover that betrayed him.
Yeah.
It
doesn't have to be Calypso.
It doesn't need to be a god. Do you know what I mean?
Okay, right. Are you ready for this? So,
Hit me.
This film is on Disney Plus. Came out in 1994. It's called Blank Check.
Blank Check.
Blank Check.
Blank Check.
You ever heard of it?
No, I haven't.
So it's about a young boy who gets given a check by a rich guy because the rich guy, I think, like runs over his bike or something. I don't remember. And he decides to write it for $1 million and starts living it large, living it rich. Long story short, this 12-year-old kid ends up falling in love with this like 32-year-old woman.
Yeah.
Or she's like 28 or 32 or something like that. And they go on dates and stuff. And that's weird in itself, okay? But in the final scene, she kisses him on the lips and says, "I'll see you in 6 years."
Oh, okay. Bit groomy.
She kisses him on the lips, dude.
Very
It's a
groomy.
12-year-old kid.
Yeah. Ha.
That's a Disney movie.
Ha. Don't like that. I don't like that at all.
It's horrible. It's fucking disgusting. It's the worst.
Oh, but it was the 90s, so it's fine. Like he wanted to kiss her because like every boy just wants to kiss a woman.
She kisses him.
Doesn't matter.
He
That's
doesn't
wrong.
kiss her. She kisses him.
Nah, you
on
can't,
the lip.
You can't be doing that, Disney. That was 26 years ago.
Yeah, so that was okay, but same-sex kissing, not okay.
No.
But yeah, literally a pedo. Yeah, that's fine. Imagine it was a man. Imagine it was like a 12-year-old girl and a 28-year-old man. Nah. See you in 6 years.
Nah, don't ever say that to me ever again. Don't.
It's nasty.
Don't. Yeah, I was away to say if there was anything good in that movie, then we could challenge each other to watch it for next time. But we're not going to do that.
Nope.
Absolutely not. Nope. So yeah, that got a little bit off of Pirates of the Caribbean, but I've said my piece. Is there anything you want to add about it?
No, I think you're right. The Calypso thing is just one step too wacky for me.
I mean, they kind of step it up from that for the next couple of movies with like actual zombies in On Stranger Tides, with mermaids and magic, with Blackbeard. And
I forgot there was mermaids in that.
And then there's ghosts in Salazar's Revenge. So it's like, I think
Salazar's Revenge.
Horrible movie. But I do think that there were fucking zombie sharks in Salazar's Revenge as well.
It's always been daft though. Like, let's just stop for a second. It's Curse of the Black Pearl is about a skeleton pirate ship.
Yes,
it's always been daft.
But the
whole point of that's what the fifth one tries to retroactively justify, saying that the trident is the source of all the magic.
Yeah. And then you break all the curses of the sea.
Yeah. So I get it. That's for me not a criticism.
No, I'm not saying it's. I don't have a problem with Pirates of the Caribbean being wacky and being a little bit, otherworldly. I don't have a problem with that. I have a problem with pushing the envelope too far. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Because On Stranger Tides, it's a fine movie, but I think it pushes it a little bit too far. And Salazar's Revenge is a step up from that. So if the fourth movie was too far for me, Salazar's Revenge has a whole slew of other problems with it, but I think it goes too far with ghost pirates.
Ghost pirates.
Skeleton pirates that are between the realms of living and dead, fine.
Being kept alive by an ancient artifact.
Yeah.
Because Salazar, correct me if I'm wrong, I'm probably wrong, but isn't he just alive because of his anger towards Jack?
He's like, his ship got caught in the Devil's Triangle. We don't know what the Devil's Triangle is. It's never really explained why it's there.
And isn't he just kept alive through pure rage?
Pretty much, yeah.
That's fucking stupid.
Mm-hmm. Whereas Barbossa and his crew in the first one,
They're cursed.
they're cursed by like Aztec gold.
And Davy Jones is cursed.
Yeah. Which is actually, it leads into Will Turner's being cursed to stay on the Flying Dutchman, which is why his son goes after Jack in Salazar's Revenge.
Yeah.
But I get it. It's got motive. It's got like a quest to follow. There's something to get. I just think the movie's too convoluted, and I don't think the character work is good enough.
That's fair enough. That's a fair assumption.
So I did have one more movie that I wanted to get your opinion of that was seen as a massive missed opportunity.
Mm-hmm.
But if there is a second one coming out, I will be very, very happy to see it. That's Tom Hardy in Venom.
Venom.
I know you've seen Venom.
Yes, I have.
What did you think of Venom?
Average.
Yeah. Okay.
Tom Hardy was the best thing about it. The villain was just cookie cutter superhero villain. Shite. The final act was crap.
The fight between
Venom
Venom
itself, the character Venom, very like the comics.
Yes.
Which I liked.
Yeah.
And it was too tame. Like, if you're gonna show Venom biting people's heads off,
Show people.
make the movie R-rated so we can see him biting people's heads off.
There really wasn't an excuse to not make it R-rated, because Deadpool did great at the box office.
Yeah. It
Logan
needed an R rating to really push it.
Yeah, I completely agree with that. That was the biggest misstep with Venom. I do think, however, they kind of rushed the final act because they spent a little bit too long building Venom and Eddie's relationship. Because the trailers that they put out kind of promised us that Eddie and Venom were going to get together quite early in the film, and then their relationship would be a little bit more like a buddy cop thing throughout it. That's what we were promised in the trailers, and they didn't deliver that. They gave us an origin story, which is fine. And to be fair, it wasn't even that bad an origin story. It just, the stakes for the ending weren't that great, so we didn't really care about the ending that much.
Yeah.
I just wanted to see as much of Venom on screen as possible. And I would say Venom looked great. The CGI at the end with the fight with Riot
Awful.
kind of falls apart a little bit, but Venom's model overall looks great, I would say. Come on, what do you mean?
It's okay.
Nah, I won't be having this.
It's alright.
I think it looks great. Okay, we're gonna need to agree to disagree.
It's good that we don't agree on everything, I guess. If it was, it'd be pretty fucking one-sided podcast if we agreed on everything.
Yeah, it would be.
Yeah.
One of my favorite bits of Venom is the convenience store scene at the end. Like, you know, the crux of the trailer.
Yeah, but even then, he bites the guy's head off and you don't get to see it.
No, you don't get to see it.
I want to see him biting the guy's head off.
Yeah. I don't think he just bites the guy's head off. I think he swallows him whole. Because he's nowhere to be seen.
Yeah, that's true.
After, like, Eddie comes back.
It's a weird-ass movie.
It is a weird-ass movie.
But
they said that they had a challenge to kind of remove Venom from Spider-Man. Because Venom's origin is directly linked to Spider-Man.
Oh, yeah, Spider-Man.
They didn't have the rights to Spider-Man, so they couldn't do it. So,
well, they had the rights to Spider-Man, but they just chose not to play ball, really.
It's probably for the best, because Marvel and Disney were trying to revamp Spider-Man with Tom Holland as it is. If you throw in Venom at this point, it would be far too much like a villain superhero.
Yeah.
Like a villain story.
Venom's an anti-hero.
Yeah.
Really.
It's a very complicated relationship that he's got with Spider-Man. Adding him in at a later date is probably much easier because we know who the character is. But did you watch the end credit scene for Venom?
Yeah, with Woody Harrelson.
Yeah. I love the character of Carnage.
Carnage. Here's a sad thing for you.
Go for it.
Spider-Man 4, the Tobey Maguire one that got cancelled, was rumored to have had Jim Carrey playing Carnage.
Ooh.
Which would have been amazing.
Yeah, because when Jim Carrey does Sinister, he does Sinister quite well.
He would have just been perfect for Carnage.
I don't know. I don't know about perfect, but I feel like I can't really judge it because it's not happened.
Yeah.
So my image of it won't be the same as your image of it. I will say Spider-Man franchises start to kind of run out of steam, like in cinema, quite a lot, because the Tobey Maguire one, that wasn't supposed to be that. Spider-Man 3 wasn't supposed to be that. It wasn't supposed to have 3 villains in it.
Yeah, it was pressured by the studios.
Yeah.
And then they did it again with Amazing Spider-Man 2.
Yeah, they
put 3
did.
villains in it, and it shit the bed again.
And they teased the Sinister Six in Spider-Man, in the Amazing Spider-Man 2.
That's right.
And it was supposed to set up an entire franchise.
And then it died on its arse.
Yeah, because...
But for the best, because now we get Spider-Man in Avengers.
We do get Spider-Man in Avengers.
Spider-Man.
Yes, I will say Far From Home was quite a good movie. That was a very, very good movie.
I didn't like it.
Explain yourself right now. Explain yourself right now.
Shitty final act. Just a bunch of CGI garbage. Just too much going on. It was just crap.
What do you mean too much going on?
Just the final boss was a bunch of drones. Like hundreds of drones. It's boring.
How much did you know about the character Mysterio before it?
He's a wrestler in WWE. His first name is Ray.
He got his eye gouged out recently by Seth Rollins.
Amazing.
No, like, how much did you know? Like, did you not know anything about the Marvel character Mysterio?
Oh no, I knew some. He's Master of Illusions.
Yeah. So I think that level of it, they did quite well with the complete subversion of expectation. I thought Mysterio's his story made complete sense. Did you think that?
But it's a story we've seen in Marvel so many times. Disgruntled person who doesn't like the Avengers. Aldrich Killian.
Yeah.
The fucking
Iron Man 3.
Armie Hammer's character in Iron Man 2.
Mm-hmm.
Is it Armie Hammer? No.
No. It's
His name is something like that.
No.
Who the hell plays him?
Hammertech, Sam Rockwell.
Yeah, is it Justin Hammer? What's the guy called?
I can't remember his name. It could be Justin Hammer.
Oh God, I'm embarrassing myself.
But he's not the villain. He's the pawn that the actual villain uses.
Yeah, because the actual villain is hot garbage.
No, Mickey Rourke's character was good.
Justin Hammer, I was right.
Yeah, okay, fair dues.
Thank
Justin
God.
Hammer. Mickey Rourke's character was good. His Whiplash.
I want my bird. I want my bird.
Listen, we
I
can
want my bird.
we can debate about superhero
Even
movies.
Mickey Rourke hates that film.
Doesn't matter. I like it. I think it's fine.
It's shit. Right. I want to talk about a movie.
Okay, let's talk about your movie.
I watched the first Star Trek, the motion picture.
Mm-hmm.
God, that film's long. So boring.
That's not what I expected you to
It's
say.
so fucking long. And I was like, you could cut 20 minutes out of this movie and just removing all these long establishing shots. So basically the premise is 11 years after the original journey ended, the crew of the Enterprise are reunited to intercept a huge alien force that's on its way to Earth.
Mm-hmm.
And this alien force is just destroying everything that it comes into contact with. And this thing is gigantic. It makes the Enterprise look like a dot. It's huge. And that's the story. The character development is brilliant. William Shatner, Kirk, is a very Kirk's such an interesting character because he's so pompous and arrogant and self-serving, but there's still shades of him that you like.
Okay.
Like, he's such a pompous character, but it works. And I was like really switched off about 2/3 of the way through the movie. I was like, this is too long, I'm bored. But there's a big twist at the end where it turns out that at the very, very center of this giant spaceship, it turns out the entire spaceship is one living robot entity. And at the very, very center of the spaceship, so the ship has been calling itself Voyager the entire thing. And all it's doing is going to Earth to look for the creator. Right. I am looking for the creator. I am Voyager. It turns out Voyager is the Voyager Probe.
Oh.
They get to the center of the ship, and it's Voyager.
Okay.
And basically the story is Voyager. You know what the Voyager Probe is, right? No. Voyager Probe was a probe sent out in the 70s with information all about humans. It's a real thing.
Okay.
It's got like two golden records on it with maps revealing where Earth is, and songs and stuff like that, and pictures of humans and flowers and stuff like that. And it's sent out to... It's been sent out. It's just recently left our solar system, actually, I think. And it's being sent out to contact alien life.
Oh, okay.
And
so
the story is...
Here's who we are.
Yeah,
sort
it's
of.
a real thing. And the story is that Voyager crashed on an alien planet occupied entirely by robots, and they rebuilt it with the sole purpose of learning and finding, gathering knowledge and then bringing it back to the creator. And that's the story. But I thought that was a cool twist at the end, and it brought me back on board. But the movie is really fucking long. Mm-hmm. Way too long. So I probably won't watch it again. It's like 2 hours and 20 minutes. But it's just too long.
Is it like, does it move quite slowly?
Oh yeah, it drags.
Yeah, that's one of the worst things about a movie, to be fair. Yeah, obviously you like a big knowledge on Star Trek right now, but I still haven't seen any of it.
It's
Would you recommend it?
Oh yeah.
Okay.
The original series is such good fun. It's just campy, really good fun. I really, really enjoyed it. I finished it all now.
The whole like all of the seasons.
No, the original 3 seasons.
Okay.
And then I've got a couple episodes of the animated series to do. Then I've got to watch the rest of the original crew movies. Then I can watch The Next Generation.
Not bad, not bad.
Okay, so I got 2 more movies I saw. I watched This Is the End.
Yes.
Which I'd never seen before. I didn't know anything about it.
Yes.
It's just a really, it's just your typical Seth Rogen, James Franco film.
But it's so good, isn't it?
It's so silly, so daft.
Good. That's one of my go-to movies when I don't know what to put on.
Oh yeah, it's great fun.
It's so good.
I really, really, really enjoyed it. Full of like really, really great moments, like Channing Tatum as a gimp being fucked by Danny McBride.
Yeah.
Emma Watson
coming in with an axe. Back the fuck up!
Because she thinks they're all going to rape her.
Yeah.
Really?
They're not.
Really?
They weren't planning that, I need to say. But it's a misunderstanding. But she threatens to kill them all. It's
a really, really, really crazy fun movie. And I don't have much else to say about it. It's just really, really silly.
Yeah.
For anyone who doesn't know, the premise is James Franco, Seth Rogen, and their pals all play fictional versions of themselves.
Yeah.
So they're all a party at James Franco's house, and then the apocalypse happens.
Yes.
That's the movie.
It's them trying to survive throughout the apocalypse, but nobody at James Franco's party, because he's got like a massive party of like actors and Hollywood people. Nobody in there gets taken up to heaven from the rapture because they're all bad people. So they all get left down, and then it is just a lot of people dying.
Oh yeah.
For the first like sort of 15, 20 minutes of the movie. And then it's James Franco, Seth Rogen, Jay Baruchel, who voices Hiccup in How to Train Your Dragon.
And he's in The Sorcerer's Apprentice.
Yes. Then you got Jonah Hill, Craig Robinson
From The Office.
Yes, and Danny McBride is upstairs in the bathtub, and he doesn't know about this at all. He's upstairs and he's sleeping in the bathtub. And then it's just they all need to get along in James Franco's house, and shenanigans ensue.
They don't get along.
It's so funny though. It's so funny. Honestly, it's such a good movie. I'm really glad you've seen it.
Yeah, it was really good fun. I liked it. The other film I saw was Step Brothers. I'd never seen Step Brothers.
Step Brothers is another one. It's so good.
It's just so fucking silly.
You teabagged my fucking drum set.
But yeah, I'm assuming the majority of people. I was quite out of the zeitgeist for that. I'm assuming the majority of people have seen Step Brothers, so I don't want to talk about it too much.
Well, it's very, very good. I think it's very cleverly written. It's a good movie. Good movie. Yeah, love it.
But that's it. I don't have anything else to really comment about on them or anything like that. They're just some good comedies that you should go and watch.
Definitely give them a shot. Okay, I don't actually have any new movies that I want to talk about. The only thing that I've been watching recently is the Star Wars: The Clone Wars TV series.
You enjoying it?
Yes, I am enjoying it.
Awesome.
I'm just past that point where it's because in the earlier seasons you can tell it's very clearly marketed towards children.
So it's all out of sync.
Still quite enjoyable. I've just gotten past the point where it's out of sync, and now I'm on season 4, so it's just
season 4. It just gets better and better and better.
It's just chronologically,
and it stops becoming a kids show.
I think it's already stopped becoming a kids show because we've had some quite dark moments in there already.
Decapitations and stabbings and
I think it's very cleverly written. I like it. I definitely really, really, really like it.
Good.
And you've seen the whole thing?
Oh yeah.
Okay. Well, we'll leave it there because I'm worried you'll spoil it. But we've got a couple of listeners' questions. So we've broadened the horizon this time, so it's not just a would you rather. So the first question comes from Matt B, but we'll give him his nickname just so he gets a full shout out.
The Boiler.
Boiler. There we go. He's been nice enough to ask a question. It's kind of a two-parter, so I'll ask it in one thing, but then we'll answer it differently. So if you had to watch only one movie forever, what would it be?
Back to the Future.
And I'm just gonna we thought you would say that, by the way. So the other half was, if you had to listen to one song forever, what would it be? So we'll talk about the movie first. Yours is Back to
Ooh.
I don't think you need to explain why it's Back to the Future.
Oh yeah, we've gone down the rabbit hole. I think
Done
there's
this
3 out of 3 podcasts where we've mentioned Back
Yeah.
to the Future now.
Yeah. So we'll bury it there. For me, one movie to watch forever. That's a difficult one, you know. It's a really, because you're thinking, do I go with a classic or do I go with just something I really like that's stupid?
Yeah.
While I'm thinking about that, do you have like a song in mind?
Yes.
Okay, go with the song.
So my favorite band is a band called James.
Mm-hmm.
And no one in the band is called James, but they're called James.
Mm-hmm.
And they have a song from their 2016 album called Nothing But Love. You should go and listen to it. It's amazing. It's just great. It's just a nice, wholesome, gooey song, and I love it. So that probably.
So what's it called again?
Nothing But Love.
Nothing But Love by James. Okay.
Yar.
I'm actually looking up Spotify right now because I've got no idea. Like, I've got loads of songs going through my mind and I just can't think of one. For a movie, I think it'd be Zombieland, to be fair.
Yeah?
Yeah, because for me, Zombieland is just a fun movie. Like, I can stick it on at the drop of a hat. I'll be entertained like throughout the entire thing. It doesn't matter that I've seen it maybe like 15 times. I love that movie.
It's a good movie.
And I've got another little thing here. In my head, the reason we need to watch this movie for forever and ever is because the apocalypse has happened for some reason, and this is the only movie that's been salvaged, and it's in my possession.
Wait, who said it was the apocalypse?
That in my head, that's why.
Oh, right. I thought it was just like I'm on like a desert island or something.
Well, there's that as well. It could be the only like movie disc on the desert island that you've got. As far as a song, Oh, that's tough, you know. That's really, really tough. Do you know what?
What?
I think I've got it tattooed on me. So I've got this band tattooed on me. My favorite band is Lower Than Atlantis, and they've disbanded right now, so they're all off doing their own individual things. But I went to go and see them in York a couple of years ago, and they were absolutely amazing. And I'm really surprised that they didn't make it more mainstream. But I've got their logo tattooed on me, so I think I'm going to need to choose one of the songs from there.
Is that the little wigglies?
I've got the little wigglies on my arm. Yeah. If anybody knows me, you'll have seen the wigglies because I love showing them off.
The wigglies.
The little wigglies. But I think I'm going to choose "Ain't No Friend" by Lower Than Atlantis. That's what I'm going to choose.
Fab. Go listen to that as well.
So thank you very much, Matt B. or A Boiler, for your question.
I just want to cut in quickly.
Go for it.
Your T-shirt.
Yes.
Okay. For the listeners, what does your T-shirt say?
So I'm just going to describe it. So my T-shirt it's a plain white tee apart from some red writing, and it's in the same font as Vote for Pedro. But it doesn't say "Vote for Pedro." What my T-shirt actually says is, "But Daddy, I love him."
Yeah, explain that, please.
So, so basically, me and my girlfriend Eleanor really like Harry Styles. Not necessarily she loves his music. Not necessarily. I don't necessarily love all of his music. I love him as a person.
Right.
And there was a picture that went round of him with this T-shirt. So Eleanor found it, just totally out of the blue, just totally found it online on a shop somewhere, and then bought it for my birthday that just passed.
Oh, that's really fucking cute.
Yeah. So it's actually one of my favorite T-shirts now, and it goes really well with the rest of my shorts. So
that's
I love
very
that.
wholesome.
Yeah.
I like that. I'm glad I got an explanation because I was looking at it but I'm
Daddy,
not
I
sure
love him.
I understand that.
So yeah, that's my T-shirt. So the other question that we got was from Isla F, who was nice enough to ask us, what are some of our most unpopular opinions? So you've got consensus truths about the human race, and then there's unpopular opinions that just go against the grain. Do you have any? So what she said is, do you have any about food, or do you have any about movies? So I've got a couple of them prepared if you would like some time to think about it.
Yeah, you go.
Okay. So the first one for me, chips dipped in ice cream is good.
Oh, God.
No, it is.
Do you buy a fucking milkshake when you go to McDonald's and then dip your chips in it?
I really, really used to do that, yeah. It needs to be like a soft serve ice cream, because otherwise it just doesn't work. The chips are they're not hard enough to dig into it. But if it's like you've got a Mr. Whippy ice cream or you've got a McDonald's milkshake or something, it works. It's really you've got the salty texture of the chips, and then you've got the sweetness and the coolness of the ice cream. It just works. And I know that a lot of people hate that.
I mean, I've never tried it, so I guess I can't wail on you too much.
You're going to wail on me?
Yeah. God, I'm trying to think. This is hard. You just dropped this on me, and now I'm having a scramble.
Actually, I've got another one, just to give you a little bit of breathing time to think.
Oh, I've got one.
Oh, okay, go for it.
Kingdom of the Crystal Skull isn't that bad. I like that movie. The CGI is too much, but I think it's fun. I like the aliens.
I will say, they lose me at actual aliens.
No, I like that. I think it's cool.
They lose me at it. They lose me at actual aliens. However, it's not the hot garbage that pure Indiana Jones fans think it is.
I like it.
I don't like it as a movie. I have sat down and watched it quite recently.
Me too.
Because, you've got to make sure that it's still as bad as you remember.
Yeah.
For me, it is still as bad as I remember. It's It's fine, but it's not good. That's what I would say.
No, I like it.
And that's why they're unpopular opinions, I suppose. Why do you like it?
I like science fiction,
Mm-hmm.
and I think it works. I don't get me wrong, the film has glaring problems, and some really fucking stupid bits, but it's just good fun. It's just a good fun little romp, and it's fun to see Harrison Ford being Indiana Jones again.
Do you know what? I will say, Shia LaBeouf swinging through the trees with monkeys is quite fun.
No, it's awful. That's one of the worst bits. I don't like.
Kate Blanchett, though, as the...
With her dodgy Russian accent.
Yes, the way she's sinking her teeth into those W's.
And Ray Winston.
It's just like Berlin.
It's not a double cross, it's a double cross. He doesn't say that, but that's what he does in the movie.
Yeah. Okay. So that's one of yours. I'll give you this one, because this one I feel is universal truth. I don't think this is an unpopular opinion, or it shouldn't be at the very least.
Go.
McDonald's is not good. It's familiar.
Yes.
That's why people go to McDonald's, because it's familiar.
I'm like, oh my god, I'm terrified of all these places. Oh, there's McDonald's cheeseburger.
Yeah, because like
the food's fucking gross.
The food
but,
is not very good at all.
No.
You can absolutely get better burgers from Five Guys. You can get better chips from
cheap though.
Basically anywhere.
Cheap,
it's cheap.
Cheap and familiar.
There's always one near you, and everyone can get something that they'll be at least fine with.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? Like that's
it's
why
energy into my stomach. And that's it.
Yeah, that like it
and it's quick.
Yes. But that like no, McDonald's is like no.
Okay, you did a food one.
Mm-hmm.
I'm gonna do a food one.
Go for it.
Ketchup with macaroni cheese is the bomb.
No, it isn't. No, you.
And let me just. Oh, sorry, I hit my cable there. Let me justify.
Okay, justify it.
Cheese and tomato.
Ketchup's not proper tomato though.
Cheese and tomato. Sometimes you get served macaroni and it has tomato slices on top.
Yes.
So why can't I have ketchup with my macaroni cheese?
Because ketchup is not proper tomato. It's
fuck you! It's made of tomatoes.
No, it's made with tomatoes.
No, you fucker. Cheese and tomato is a winning flavor combination. Ketchup with macaroni cheese is poggers.
No, you ruin the macaroni cheese by adding ketchup to it.
No.
Like, you know
what?
La
la la la.
Even if you had said macaroni cheese with baked beans, that would be fine.
That's fucking horrible.
No, it isn't.
Who the fuck has had what kind of nonce are you?
No.
Beans with macaroni cheese. I've never heard of such a fucking horrible thing.
Together,
that's
but, like,
vile.
You bake up, you do some baked beans, you make your macaroni cheese, you put a little bit of baked beans on the side, and then once you've eaten the beans, you can have that tomatoey flavour in the bean sauce.
You are a pedo.
No,
that is the weirdest thing I've ever...
No,
you eat beans with mac and cheese.
Can I just...
What the fuck is wrong with you?
Mum and Dad, if you're listening, this is what people think of macaroni cheese with baked beans.
That's
but
fucking weird.
They made me believe that it was normal.
You had a horrible upbringing. Jesus Christ. Macaroni cheese and beans.
No, I'm sorry.
You can't say anything about ketchup and macaroni cheese because you've just said that you have beans with macaroni cheese.
I don't
you can't
actually
say
have
shit.
it. Some people have it. When I make macaroni cheese, I don't also make up baked beans now.
Yeah.
I don't want
You don't even put them in the... So you just drink my cup of beans
No,
and then eat my mac and cheese. Tomatoey flavor. If only there was another way to get tomatoey flavor with my mac and cheese without opening a whole can of fucking beans.
Ketchup is not the same thing. No, you're wrong. You're
Jesus
actually wrong
Christ.
with ketchup. Right.
Okay. Oh my god.
Right, we've both done
That's
a food
the worst thing I've ever heard.
I've got an unpopular opinion about movies. Okay, so can I...
Okay, go. Sorry.
So the diehard movie critics are about to crucify me for this, but I don't think there's anything wrong with sequels and franchises in cinema. I don't think there's anything wrong with it.
What? Like on paper or?
No, I mean like in practice. I think
it's a bit shameless cash grab.
Like,
Well, no, actually, no. It doesn't have to be.
a lot of the sequels and franchises are good.
Fast and Furious.
I haven't
Family.
I have not seen Fast and Furious.
my family.
They make bank though. You can't say that they don't make bank.
family.
Is that Vin Diesel?
Yeah.
Okay.
The family.
But the Harry Potter franchise, right? So that's problematic now because of J.K. Rowling.
Okay, I don't like the fact that they split movies in two. Deathly Hallows Part 1 and 2. Deathly Hallows Part 1 is the most boring shit I've ever seen.
Yeah, it's Harry Potter goes camping, essentially.
It's awful.
Yeah, it's not awful, but I understand why they do it, because they don't want to have to cut out vital parts of the story, but they also don't want to make you sit there for 4 hours watching a movie.
Boring.
I don't mind it. It makes logical sense. Like,
Facts and logic.
the Marvel Cinematic Universe is one of the best like cinematic creations in recent
There'll never be anything like it.
No, because there can't be. Like, unless DC pull their head out their arse, but even then, they've kind of rushed it.
Never gonna happen.
No. I think you can't have... You can't have a problem with, like, movies and, like, sequels and franchises and stuff and still like Marvel. I don't think it's possible, because you're just going against yourself. I'm trying to think of other franchises. Lord of the Rings. There's nothing wrong with the Lord of the Rings, like, franchise. It had one long story to tell.
Yeah, but it's based on source material.
Like, so is Marvel.
Yeah.
So is Harry Potter. What's the difference?
Sometimes franchises can go wrong, though, like Hunger Games.
Okay, so the movies
Mockingjay
weren't
Part
as
1
good.
again is a massive snooze.
So the movies weren't actually as good as...
Catching Fire is the only
Catching
good
Fire
one.
was the best one.
Catching Fire is the bomb.
Catching Fire was such a good movie.
Yeah.
The first Hunger Games was fine. People went and saw it. Catching Fire completely one-upped it.
Oh yeah, it's the bomb.
Surpassed
It's
it.
like a perfect recreation of the book.
Yeah.
But Mockingjay is just shit.
I haven't actually seen
They're
part
both
2
shit.
of Mockingjay.
They're both shit.
Actually, do you know what? I will say, Suzanne Collins, who wrote The Hunger Games, doesn't know how to write an ending.
Yeah. You've read the books, I take it.
I've
me too.
I've read the books.
Me too.
I read the books.
The ending is just
before
kind of like, oh, we're here now. The end.
Yeah, there's very little build-up. The twist at the end of Catching Fire is probably the best thing she's written out of that series anyway. I haven't read any of other...
Oh, God, yeah, with Plutarch being a goodie.
Yes.
Yeah,
Plutarch
yeah,
being a
really,
goodie,
really.
And District 12 getting destroyed. We've... Hopefully, by us saying the ending of Catching Fire, if you haven't seen it, you will have turned off there. But...
No, I mean, come on. You've had your time. It's been out long enough.
Yeah, yeah. Even still, I get annoyed when people spoil stuff.
That's like when Martin Freeman was getting interviewed for the final Hobbit movie, and he says, "Oh yeah," and then the dragon dies in this one, and the interviewer went, "No, don't say that. That's a spoiler." And the guy, and then Martin Freeman was like, "It's an 80-year-old book." Are you fucking kidding me?
It's an 80-year-old book. I mean, fair. But yeah, no, back to my original point. I don't think there's anything wrong with sequels and franchises, because we do still get original content in cinema.
I guess.
I think like it just attracts more people to come back to the cinema and to come back to film.
I suppose it's a continuing turnover revenue for the film industry, which we should support.
We have to support it because we're actors.
But it also presents a problem that people, so many movies, standalone movies, bomb now because people aren't familiar with it, so they won't stake their money on it.
That's true.
Like, if you look at, unless something is truly spectacular, people won't go and see it. So, like, there's so many movies at the minute that are just bombing. Like, Ben Affleck did a movie, a gangster movie last year, or was it the year before, and it just died. No one went to see it.
What was it called?
I don't even remember. That's the thing. Don't even remember.
Okay.
Because it's just all these original ideas are being drowned out by the familiar.
Well,
to
some extent, I agree with that. But then if you look at the Oscars and the Golden Globes and all of these award shows, there's very few franchises and stuff actually in those categories. They're all, to an extent, they're all original movies. So they are still getting recognition.
Yeah, but guaranteed none of them made as much money as franchises.
No, they won't have made as much money. No, that's a fair point. But they're still getting they're getting awards. Like the actors who go through these, like, what's her name? Olivia Coleman.
Oh, we love Olivia Coleman.
Olivia Coleman, who was a BBC actor for the longest time, just in England and the UK, has now become like a household name, and she's an Oscar-winning actress because of an independent movie.
Oh yeah,
I say independent, an original movie.
It's a great movie.
Yeah, so there's arguments for and against. I don't see there's a problem with sequels and franchises, you know. But I think we've maybe hashed that topic out a little bit.
yeah. Have we any more questions?
No, it was just those two. So we need to say thank you to Isla F and a Boiler for your questions. Thank you very much.
Okay, here's my unpopular opinion.
Go on then.
We have to end the podcast now.
Yes, we do. We do need to end the podcast. We've
Oh,
been sat
see,
here
that was
for,
my sad little segue.
Yeah, we've been sat here for enough time now.
Yeah, get the fuck out here. Get the fuck out of my flat, motherfucker.
Before we sign off, do you have any movies that you want me to watch for next time as a talking point?
God, you kind of. Have you seen the Blade Runner movies?
I haven't seen Blade Runner. No.
Watch Blade Runner.
Okay.
Watch the first one. Have you got it?
I
I've got it there. You can borrow it.
might need to borrow your DVD, but
And if you like the first one,
I think the second one's on Sky or something.
then I've got the second one there as well.
Oh, okay, very good.
Okay, what do you want me to watch?
I'm trying to think. Actually, hold on. If you vamp for a little bit, I'm gonna look through my Netflix things.
Okay, so guys, back to this whole ducks with human teeth thing. How would that work? Like, would their beaks just be permanently seized open, or like, would they? How would that work? Would they be like chattering, like one of those wind-up chatter things?
Mm-hmm.
What if ducks could like talk?
That's my dream. I want to be able to converse with ducks because I want a pet duck.
Okay, that was some shit vamping I did. What you got for me?
Okay, so have you seen a movie called What If?
No.
Right, it's on Netflix. It's Daniel Radcliffe. Go and watch it.
Okay, What If and Blade Runner.
Yes.
Awesome.
All right, fantastic.
Right, thank you very much for listening. Congratulations if you made it this far. Leave your questions and comments down below. Like, subscribe, and give us a wee share. We want to try and see how much we can grow this little thing.
Yeah.
And we hope you enjoyed.
Thank you very much. See you later.
Bye.